Ollie and the Floating Orchard. Ollie was a cheerful 10-year-old boy who loved fruit more than anything, and one bright spring morning he woke up with a huge idea in his head, because his teacher had said that brave questions can open new doors. So Ollie asked himself, can a garden grow up in the sky? After a quick breakfast of honey bread, he packed his small blue backpack with an apple, a little spade, a ball of string, 3 empty glass jars, and his sketchbook. Then he called for his best friend, a silly goat named Pippa, who trotted after him wearing a bell that rang with every step. Together they walked to the wide meadow beside the river, where white clouds drifted slowly like soft boats, and Ollie thought the clouds looked ready to carry trees if someone taught them how. Near the water they met Mr. Reed, the village kite maker, who was testing a new red kite that was larger than a door, and Ollie helped him untangle a long tail while Pippa munched on fresh clover. When the kite finally lifted, Ollie noticed how gently it floated, and an idea sparked. If a kite could carry wind, maybe it could carry seeds too. He thanked Mr. Reed and hurried on, following the river until he reached the Hill of Echoes, a place where sound bounced back like a playful friend. There he found Millie, a smart magpie who loved shiny things and spoke in short, clear words, and he asked her if she knew how to tie string in strong knots, because he wanted to hang seed bags from a kite. Millie nodded, showed him a quick knot with her beak, and gave him 3 bright buttons as good luck charms. Ollie placed the buttons in his pocket, feeling brave, and climbed the hilltop with Pippa and Millie fluttering above. The wind was stronger there, and Ollie opened his sketchbook to draw a plan, a giant kite made of thin bamboo sticks covered with light cloth from old pillowcases, holding little seed bags under its belly, so that when the kite touched a cloud the seeds might drop, drink cloud water, and start a tiny floating orchard. Before sunset Ollie, Pippa, and Millie ran back to the village workshop, where Mr. Reed listened to the plan with wide eyes, laughed kindly, and said, let us try. Good ideas grow when many hands help. They worked all evening. Mr. Reed cut the bamboo. Ollie sewed the cloth with his small needle. Pippa brought extra string in her mouth, and Millie checked every knot. By moonrise the kite was huge and light, painted with yellow suns and green leaves, and the seed bags, filled with apple, peach, and cherry seeds, hung like little bells. The next morning the whole village gathered in the meadow, curious to see the flying garden, and Ollie felt both proud and nervous. But his grandma squeezed his shoulder and whispered, courage tastes like ripe fruit, sweet after the first bite. So he smiled and held the main string while the wind blew steady. 1, 2, 3. Everyone shouted, and the kite rose, wobbling at first, then climbing higher, the seed bags swaying gently. Pippa bleated with joy. Millie flew alongside shouting, up, up, up. And the children cheered as the kite touched the first white cloud. Thin mist wrapped around the bags, drops of water soaked the cloth, and suddenly the bottoms opened like flower petals, letting the wet seeds drift into the cloud like tiny stars. Ollie held his breath, wondering if the seeds would grow, and just then the cloud began to glow faint green, spinning slowly as if delighted. Minutes later the wind carried the kite to 2 more clouds, and the same magic happened. Soft colors, gentle spins, and a sweet smell like spring blossoms. When the last seed bag was empty, Ollie carefully pulled the kite down, and the crowd clapped louder than church bells. Everyone shared bread and strawberry jam to celebrate, and Mr. Reed placed the big kite on display beside his shop, calling it Ollie's Orchard Flyer. Nobody knew if the seeds would sprout, but every evening after that, strange things filled the sky above Maple Hollow. Tiny pink petals drifted down like warm snow, small green leaves floated past the moon, and sometimes, just before sunrise, the smell of fresh peaches rolled over the roofs. Villagers woke with smiles, tasting sweetness in the air. And they began leaving bowls of water on windowsills to thank the new sky trees. 1 month later a gentle rain brought something amazing. Small golden fruits, soft as pillows, fell into gardens, and when people tasted them they found new flavors, half apple and half sunshine. Ollie picked one, planted its seed in the schoolyard, and told his friends that the ground and the sky were now brothers, sharing gifts. Pippa wore a wreath of sky petals. Millie collected silver dewdrops on her wings. and Mr. Reed started making more orchard kites for children in nearby villages, at the harvest festival that autumn. The mayor gave Ollie a wooden medal shaped like a cloud with roots, saying, "Your question grew into a forest we can all see without looking down," and Grandma hugged him so tightly the bell on Pippa's collar rang like music. That night Ollie wrote in his sketchbook that big dreams need brave questions, good friends, and a wind that believes, and just before he fell asleep he thought he heard a soft rustle above the roof, perhaps branches stretching inside a passing cloud, ready to drop. Another sweet surprise for anyone who dared to look up and smile.